At Team 24 in Las Vegas, Atlassian told us that Jira Software and Jira Work Management were going to be combined to just become Jira, and one of the features that was supposed to come over from Jira Work Management to Jira Software was calendars. Well, folks, a few months ago, I made a video talking about how there was a workaround because even though Atlassian said this was going to be happening, it didn't quite work out the way they told us, and you actually needed to be on the premium version of Jira, and you needed to have a plan so that you can then see the calendar view for your Jira software projects. But here I am, happy to tell you that calendars is officially inside of your Jira project. So you no longer need to go to an advanced roadmap. You can just see the plan straight from your Jira project. So let's take a look at this calendar view. Let me tell you what it is, how to use it, and why you should care. Let's take a look. So here's that calendar view inside your Jira project, and you should be able to find it underneath your board view. So it should say calendar, and for now, depending on when you're watching this video, it should still say new. Now, what exactly is this calendar view? Well, as the name implies, it's literally just a calendar view. Now, what makes this view interesting is that it's the one place where you can go and see everything at a glance, and it's surprisingly very configurable. I was quite shocked to find out that you can do quite a few things and see quite a few different things that I didn't think you were going to be able to see, especially when the only calendar view we've had inside of Jira was at the dashboard level. And that dashboard gadget for Jira calendars was like the worst thing that Atlassian has ever made. So I'm very, very impressed with this one. So let's take a look and let's see what we got. So how do we actually use this calendar view? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your settings. So if you come over here to the right-hand side, you have a few view settings over here. And you have the option to allow issues to open in the sidebar. So that means if you click on anything, it'll open it up on the sidebar. You can view the issue key, which I think is pretty important. You can see releases. This is also something that you may or may not want to see depending if you're using releases. And then if you're a workaholic like me, I'm making this video on a Sunday, you might want to also show your weekends. And then finally, you get to pick which day of the week your calendar starts on. So you can pick between Monday, Saturday, or Sunday. Now, something else that you should know, the calendar view, unlike the one inside of the roadmaps where you can change and adjust the date that controls the dates, this is going to be driven by that due date. So you're going to have to use the due date in your issues to be able to see this. And to get the full effect, you're going to want to set the start and the due date so you have the entire bar for that particular issue. So as long as you can do those things, you're going to be just fine. But in case you don't see an issue, you can click on this unscheduled up here, and it's going to show you pretty much any issues that don't have a due date, so you can actually set it. So if I go over here, this test mobile 74, so I'll be able to set a due date. So I'll set a due date for Wednesday, and then that's it. So I'll click out, and then we'll come back over here, and let's see what's on Wednesday now. So Wednesday is going to be October 9th, and you can see that there's 6 more in here. So I can click on that, and here's our new mobile test 74. As you can see, you don't need the start date, but to get that full effect, you want that start and that due date so you see the whole thing. But it's kind of cool that Jira, at least under the unscheduled work, will show you like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff that doesn't have any dates. Now, as I'm moving to the left, we can change the date so we can come back to today. We can go forward or backwards in months. So if you're in like December, you can come back to today and bring you all the way back. Over here on the left, we have the ability to go and search for other fields. So this is, I think, what makes this kind of powerful is that not only are you limited to the type, status, or assignees, but you can go in and bring in a specific fixed version or find issues in a specific sprint. Or if you have a custom field, you can go look for specific issues in the specific fields. So you can bring anything there or look by assignee, look by a specific status, or look for a specific type. And of course, you can always search. Now, what I would like to see would be quick filters. I think that would be kind of cool to show you a like predetermined batch of here's the tickets that I want to see, like maybe every issue that is overdue or something like that. But that I think would be a pretty cool feature to add to this. But that's pretty much it on how this calendar view works. Now let's talk about why this calendar view is important. Well, folks, when you're looking at Jira, when you're interacting, if you're not using the calendar view, obviously, you mainly interact with the timeline, the backlog, or the board itself. Now, the board and the backlog don't really have a concept of time. Yeah, there's a sprint in there, but it's not like a traditional calendar type of view. And so it's kind of hard for you to understand when certain things need to be done by. Now, the timeline view works great, but it is limited to just those epics, and it is limited to just the children of those epics. You can't see subtasks and you can't see issue types above the epic. Additionally, you can't see other projects in there. Now, I haven't actually tested this out, but if your board is bringing in issues from other boards, then you know that the timeline is basically busted. So this is a better method because you should be able, at least in theory, to bring in different data from different places and see them all in one calendar view. So I think that's a thumbs up there. And then the other thing is just the familiarity, right? A lot of people are used to seeing a calendar view. And when you're sharing this with stakeholders or CTOs, engineering managers that are maybe not as technically savvy or maybe are not as comfortable with Jira, this is a view that they can really just look at and go, oh, okay, I know exactly what's due. We can drill into a specific date and start addressing those particular issues. And it's just very visual. It's a lot easier to see and understand what's going on. All right, as you can see, pretty cool, interesting view, new feature, something that I think I'm going to be using heavily. And let me know in the comments, is this a feature that you are excited about, or do you just not care about it? Because I can see this going either way. It really does depend on how heavily you and your team depend on that due date. So if you're using that due date heavily, this is going to be really good. But if you're not, then this calendar view is probably going to be very, very empty for you and your team. Let me know in that comment section down below how you and your team feel. And now that we made it to the end of the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to drop a like. And most importantly, don't forget to check out those links down in the description below, because there's so many different ways that you can help support this channel, getting that merch store, courses that are free and paid, and memberships and everything else that I have available for you. So check out those links in the description down below. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.